Hey, welcome everybody to Camera Talk. What are we talking about this week? Beginner stuff. Everybody's a beginner at some point in their life. And of course, since this is a photography channel, we're going to talk about things, little tips and tricks and things to help you out when you're first starting off in photography anyway. Things like paying attention. This guy's issue. He wants to watch TV. Pay attention. That's right, mister. So we're going to talk about tips and tricks for beginners out there and anybody who's new to photography, kind of to help you get started anyway. So let's get at it.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. This week we're not going to review any lenses. We're not going to introduce you to any lenses or cameras or really anything else.
What the fuck?
You know, what are we going to do this week? Well, we're going to go back to the beginning. You know, what's it like to be new to photography? Everybody's a beginner at some point in life, right? So, you know, what can we offer to help those in need of, you know, guidance and kind of going down the right path and all that other kind of good stuff, right? So, you know, whether you're just considering photography or whether you've got your first camera or maybe thinking about it, or, you know, maybe this is your first camera. Again, everybody's got to start somewhere. So that's my first recommendation, actually, is if you are considering getting into photography, don't rush out and buy the latest, greatest, most expensive thing, like something like a Leica. You know, you don't want just a month ago. They introduced to the world the Leica M11. You know, it's like $8 or $9 grand, you know, $1,000.
Holy crap.
You don't want to go down that road. So get yourself something economical, you know, maybe even used, because you can want to try out, you know, there's so many different types of cameras out there. You know, there's micro four thirds, there's APS-C sized cameras, and there's full frame, and there's medium format, and so forth and so on. Until you discover kind of what you like, it's best not to go sinking a bunch of money into something that you're going to regret later. So anyway, so tips and tricks, you know, about photography is kind of what we're going to be looking at today. Try to give you a decent amount of tips anyway. We'll give you a little 5 tips for starting off in photography, kind of get you along the right path, so to speak. You have a question or something? You're raising your hand? You'd like to ask me something? You want to talk about cookies? Forget it, mister. Get out of here. High five. So, of course, you could spend all day watching YouTube videos and things like that, but, you know, again, you can watch YouTube videos to death and just saturate your brain full of all kinds of different information.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
But until you actually get out there and start taking pictures of things, you're not really going to progress anywhere. So that's the first thing. Instead of watching a bunch of YouTube videos, get out there and practice. Now, obviously, you're watching this video, so that's a good start. But after you're done this video, grab a camera and get out there and start taking some pictures, right? Practice one thing at a time. Don't try to encompass the entire world of photography all in one sitting and think that you're going to walk away as some kind of genius in the world of photography.
I'm a very stable genius.
Because those types are few and far between, aren't they? So anyway, first little tip I can give you. When you are taking photographs of something, try to avoid tunnel vision. You know, a lot of us, when we're starting out and we're taking a picture of something, we focus in on the subject, you know, and say, well, this is what I want to take a picture of. So I'm going to take a picture of Dylan, right? But as tempting as that is to just take a picture of Dylan, you should also be worried about the whole frame, you know, the big picture, so to speak. What's around? What's the background? You know, what kind of distractions may be entering your picture that may take away from you know, the idea that you have, that you want your audience to focus on the subject, right? you, the subject. So avoid that tunnel vision. That's kind of my first little recommendation. Anyway, think about the big picture. And then while you're doing that, now let's say again it's Dylan. You don't want to take a picture. It's a portrait. So we want to take a picture of Dylan. You want to figure out what your focal point is going to be. Are you going to focus in on his eyes? Are you going to focus in on his beautiful little smile? Are you going to focus in on a particular body part? Maybe he's doing some gestures with his hands. You know, oh my God, I can't believe you made a baby do that. Oh my God. You know, whatever it could be. That is your focal point. So you want to focus in on that particular point of your subject. Again, it's artistic. It's totally subjective. It's up to you. I know, you know, if you post things online, people will say, "Oh, the eyes were out of focus," or the, you know, the background was not quite in focus, even though you wanted it to be. You know, whatever. It's other people's opinions on things. Don't worry about it. You know, your photography is yours. And are we putting you to sleep? And it's all subjective. So you pick your focal point, but make sure that you make the decision of what you're going to focus in on, right? Now, next thing is about taking this all in baby steps. You know, do one thing at a time. You know, if you're going to practice, let's say, practice street photography, you know, you want to catch people's expressions. You know, within a meter or 2 meters, practice that focusing. Get that picture, take another one, take another one, and just practice that. If you want to practice floral photography, then get out there and just take lots of pictures of flowers and discover what you did right and what you did wrong and how you could improve it. It's by trial and error. Again, you can watch videos, you can take classes at school. There's a lot of things you can do. But do it all in baby steps, right? You have to walk before you can run. So just remember that. Don't expect to, again, progress in giant leaps and bounds all in one day type of thing. Symmetry works wonders, you know, when you're taking photos of things. If you have, you know, things like leading lines, or if you frame your subject, you know, if you're outside in the woods, you know, use some overhanging branches and things to frame the person or the deer or the grizzly bear that's charging towards you, whatever it could be. Frame it, you know, to get that last picture. Probably make you famous, since the grizzly bear is going to eat you. Therefore, you know, that last photo may make the cover of Time magazine. Do they even have Time magazine around anymore? Anyway, symmetry works wonders. So use that as also another element in your photography. And the last little tip, number 5, is about contrasting colors. So you have a black and white, just as a quickie example of something. You can have different shades of the same colors. You can have a blue, a light blue, and a dark blue. You know, a dark orange, a light orange, and a lighter orange, so to speak. You know, different contrasting colors and shades of those colors can add a wonderful element to your photos as well. How about shapes? You know, you can have rectangles with circles, triangles with rectangles. Things like that. Contrasting subjects. You can have old and young, fat and skinny. Again, racial differences. Asian, Caucasian, African American versus Eastern Asian, stuff like that. It can be contrasting subjects as well. A policeman with a gangster, Those kinds of things make your photos interesting. What are you doing with that tongue? Huh? What are you doing with that tongue? So, poo-poo on that. Now, again, the 5 real quick. Using the whole frame, the big picture, so to speak, seeing exactly what you're going to capture on your photograph instead of having that tunnel vision. Having a focal point, so knowing exactly what you're going to focus in on your subject. Taking baby steps. So again, don't learn everything all at once. Learn something, practice it, get good at it, and then move on. It's the same with lenses. If you're going to use a 28, a 35, a 50, a 75, a 90, a 105, whatever, use those lenses, but use them like for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then move on to the next one, and then use it exclusively for that time and really learn it. So baby steps. Walk before you can run. The next one is symmetry. Having, again, leading lines or framing your subject. Just things that work aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And in that case, study online. You can study all kinds of different photographs and learn from others. Obviously, you don't want to copy others, but learn from them anyway. So again, the internet is a great teacher out there. And the last one is contrasts. Contrasting colors and shades and shapes and subjects and so forth and so on. Contrasts are a great way to really stand out from the crowd, so to speak. So anyway, those are just my 5 quick tips about being new to photography. Again, there's so many other things that you could talk about, different cameras, different formats, the exposure triangle, all these different things you need to learn. But these are just my 5 quick ones anyway to get in there. So we're going to leave it at that. Anyway, so that's enough for you to get out there and practice. And that's really the key to it as well, is practice. I teach a number of different courses at university, and one of them is called Business Communication and Professional Practice. And that's what I emphasize to my students is, you can sit there and listen to me blah, blah, blah all day. But unless you're going to get out there and practice what I'm teaching you, it doesn't mean anything. So practice. And that's what practice makes perfect, right? That's where that phrase comes from. So anyway, that's it for today with my little 5 tips. So next I want to talk about a little plug for my software editing. It's not software editing, it's photo editing software that I use, which is Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. Luminar Neo is their latest, greatest rendition. Replaces Luminar 4. Comes with some cool new bells and whistles like power line removal, spot dust removal, relighting the scene, all this stuff. In the past, you used to have to go in and brush things out all the time and then click remove and blah, blah, blah. This uses artificial intelligence. You just click on the button and it analyzes your photos and gets rid of whatever button you're clicking on. Gets rid of those power lines. You can have 150 power lines in your picture and it will find them all and get rid of them for you. So you don't have to do anything. That speeds up your workflow, right? That's what we all love, is to get something done quicker. So yeah, again, the other benefit of that too is it's very user friendly and it's economical. It's 60, 70, 80 bucks. And if you want a $10 discount off of that, because who doesn't mind, getting something a little cheaper, click below. And I have a little link down there to help you get $10 off. And it gives us a little kickback, right? $10 back for us. And that way I could buy this guy some cookies, because he's always going on about it. He likes cookies. Look at that belly on you, mister. You have enough cookies. So, takes after his dad. So, anyway, that was it for my little plug for Luminar. So, you can know, hey, you need to, hey, this guy he's talking about, he just reminded me. He wants subscribers, right? To help expose our channel, help support us out there in the world. So how about you subscribe? That's right. And let's do one with this hand. What you got with that hand? Subscribe. That's right. How about two hands? Subscribe. That's right. And where are you subscribing to? You're subscribing to Modesty Photography, where, you know, we introduce you to tips and tricks about photography, lenses, cameras, really anything to do with photography. And that's what we're all here for, right? Because you belong here. That's right, you belong here. So that was it for Dylan and I. And so this week we talked about tips and tricks for new photographers. Next week we could be talking about another lens or another camera or something else. So this was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. So thanks for dropping by. Stay safe out there. Stay away from that COVID. At least don't bring it here and give it to me anyway, or him. So keep it to yourself. It's one thing I don't want you to share. So anyway, come on back next week and we'll do this all again. And hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun in there with Mr. Dylan. All right, so take care. Stay safe. And we'll see you next week. All right. Oh, no, wait. Forgot the thumbs up. Oh my God, you didn't remind me of the thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up too, because subscribing is great, but thumbs up is also just as good too. So give us a thumbs up for the thumbs up girls. And that was, I think, it, right? All right, so now we can say goodbye. All right, so have a great week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in the next episode. All right, bye-bye.
Here I am, Vietnam.